Hey guys, on last week's episode, I alluded to the fact that I bought a new kayak, but I was being like very sneaky as far as what the actual kayak is. Today is going to be the grand unveil of the new kayak, as well as the steps that I took to get it set up to actually be set up and tournament ready. But without further ado, that's right, Josh has, I still have the native that I had, that native Slayer 12.5, but I didn't upgrade. It's a kind of a lateral move. But I got a Old Town Sportsman PDL. This is the 120 version, the 12-foot version. I like the color because that's honestly almost the same color. It's almost identical to the native that I had. The plan is I'm going to use this when I get this thing rigged up and set up. It'd be tournament ready. This is going to be my new tournament rig. And then the native that I had, I'm keeping that. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm keeping that, and I'm going to give that to Katie. And that's going to be hers because she's spoiled in the idea of paddling. She ain't on board with paddling, which I can't blame her, because once you've been in a pedal kayak, it is hard to go back. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you a brief tutorial of how I got it set up, and hopefully you can see some of the features. I think at some point I'm gonna do, like, when I actually get accustomed to fishing in it, I'm sure there's gonna be some tweaks and upgrades and stuff, and I'll do a video about it at some point later on, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of how I got it set up. So here we go. This is the battery that I'm going to use to power the kayak, an 18 amp hour Dakota lithium battery with a quick connect. We put that in the back of the kayak and then used a basically an electrical fishing wire to fish that thing up to where the power box is going to be located, which is right there. You can see we drilled a hole, and that is the electrical box that we're going to be using. It's a 3-switch panel, and it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. It's not. Basically, in all of this, just remember that the black goes to black. And then the way this is set up is the feed from the battery is going to go directly into that. Now, each device is going to have its own prong. And so basically, you'll wire the battery to the switch and then each device to its appropriate switch. Now, this is a one-man job, but it's beneficial to have a couple people with you. So my dad decided to help me out, which was awesome. And after we fished the wire through, we fished it up to where the box is going to go and cut an even larger hole. And I'll show you how we did that. We used this as a template, and the template came from, we used the back of the switch panel to basically give us the size that we needed. And then that's the size of hole that we cut to accommodate the panel. Now, once we got it, all the wires fished through where the hole was going to be, again, we're going to run the power directly to the top feeds are constant, and then each individual switch will be running individual components. So, like up top, I'm going to run the fish finder because it's constant, and then the stuff at the bottom, one switch is going to be for the running lights, one switch will be for the navigation lights, and then I'll have a third one that I'm just not using at the moment. Now, once we actually feed it through, just to give you an idea, this one's for the running lights. I ran the red to the switch there, and then ran it back, and that's going to connect to the live wires right there, and then the black, again, the blacks are all going to go together, so it doesn't matter where they go. Now, as far as cabin lights are concerned, I just went through and I marked where I wanted lights. The lights that I have aren't very bright, so I put them pretty much everywhere. And the way I ran them was, you just run one from another. You don't have to run individual wires to each individual light. You can run them in series, just one to the next, to the next, to the next, because they're all in the same circuit. So this is kind of in process. You can see one is being run to the one next, and then I got a vacant hole where the next one's going to be run, and just connect them one after the other around the kayak. There's my dad running two together. And then up here at the front, this is where the left side set of wires meets the right side set of wires. We kind of bundled them together like that. And then again, because they're all on the same circuit, you can use these quick connects. Put all of your reds together in one quick connect, and they just snap together like that. And then use the other quick connect for all your other wires. That's what it looks like where you bundle them all together. I mean, those things are really handy to have. And I know they're not waterproof, but hopefully there's not getting too much water in the boat. But I still wrapped them in electrical tape just to make sure if there's any moisture that accumulates in there to help keep those connections dry. Now in the back where I'm going to mount the safety light, I drilled a hole there in the back, and there's not a lot of access back there, so again we used twine and then that fishing wire, and you can see how we kind of pulled the wire through and then got the twine, and then we tied the wires to that and then pulled it back to the front. So that's kind of how we fish the wire through that place where we don't have any access. And then this is just us. Basically, after we fished the feed wire through, we just connected to the standard plug for the safety light, and that safety light is wired to that recessed cup, and so it has power all the time. And then what happens is you just get your extension light, and then that plugs in. I had a little trouble there. That plugs in and it screws down like that, and that's how you're going to feed the safety lights. And you can see there it's appropriate height, so it'll be over all my rods and everything. At the front of the kayak, I have these LEDs. I thought about doing the red greens, but I'm not going to have a motor on that, so I just did all whites and put those on there. Drilled a very small hole to run the wire through the hole, and I tried to get that up as high as it would be so it would be out of the water line. And I also got some silicone there, and you'll see I used the adhesive to stick the lights to the side of the kayak. Wired them up all together there on the inside, and then after I fixed everything, I just got some of that clear silicone and then plug that hole up so it's watertight. Moving on to the fish finder, there's a sacrificial transducer mount up under the kayak. I had to make some modifications to make this thing work, because as you'll see, the way that it's actually supposed to go is down, and I wanted it flipped upside down, and I'll show you why. In order to make it work with that mount that came with the Garmin, I had to do some filing and grinding. I had to grind those pieces down to make it actually work in the way that I wanted it to work. And I'll show you what I did. I ground that area down to take that little piece of plastic out, and then I also, there's a little lip on the actual transducer itself that I had to grind down a little bit, and I just took the grinder and took that to it. And then you can see how it actually goes together. I installed that clip upside down, and the reason for that is I wanted the transducer to sit up higher in the kayak rather than hanging down low and getting caught on everything. The hardware that came with the clip, it didn't fit the supposedly universal sacrificial plate, so I had to drill my own holes, but the hardware also was too long. And so what I did, I just padded it out with some washers and drilled my own holes. And that's what it looks like. And as you can see, it's up high the way I wanted it. If you had actually installed it the way that the clip is made, it would hang down below the kayak, which I didn't want. So the transducer wire comes up through the pre-made scupper hole, and then I've used a Yak Attack through hole kit to drill another hole and run the wire through back inside the boat so I could run the wires out of the way. And that's what that looks like after that is installed. I was able to take both the transducer wire and the power wire up beside where the actual monitor is and brought it through there, and used another through hole kit in that location. Now all the wires come here, and it looks like a total mess, but it's not nearly as bad as it is. All of the running lights are on one bundle with a quick connect. All of the cabin lights are on one bundle with a quick connect. anything that's running constant, like the Garmin, is all on one bundle, and each bundle then runs to its own switch. And then once you've wired that, it slides right into place. Look at that. All right, one last thing is the hardware for setting up my GoPro. And I used a Yak Attack 1-inch ball along with a just a little light gauge track, and that's where that's going to go. I'm going to fasten that in there with the ball, and then put a swivel attachment so you can see the front angle. And after I've installed that, you can see I've got a little swivel on there. It's attached, camera's on and ready. All right, guys, now is the moment of truth. Let's see if all this hard work actually is going to pay off. All right, let's start off. This was, the fish finder was set up to always run, so it's not on a switch. So let's see. Bam! Yes, son. All right, now we've got the battery hooked up, and we've got the voltage meter running, so that's good. The lights on the switches are running, which is good. Now let's see if they actually turn anything on. So that was the switch for the navigation lights. Bam. Heck yeah. Now let's look at the switch for the inside lights. Look at that. All my lights are running. Yeah. All right. So let me give you a quick rundown of what we did. So this is what it's going to look like. I still haven't actually taken this thing out on the water. I bought it like a couple months ago. And I've just been so busy. I haven't been able to fix it up, or, I mean, I haven't been able to do anything. But this is looking sharp. Look at that. Look at all of that. Yeah. I kind of want to take it out now, but I don't have time. I got obligations later on. But look at all that. So, got multiple lights like in the back to do the cargo hatch. I've got my safety light that is adjustable up to an insane amount of height. I bought it with the landing gear on it, the Boondocks landing gear that was already pre-installed, so that's good. Like here in the back, I'll show you how I've got it set up. I've got the Dakota lithium in there, and it's on a quick connect, so I can just snap and unplug it and throw it on the charger like that. So that's cool. Stick that in there. Let me come on this side. Then on this side, got the switch panel, the lights, all in here. I've got, this is the Garmin, this is the 73, the UHD 73. I've got another one. I've got a 93, the 9-inch that's on the native. I'm going to put that larger screen on here, but got that on there. I got an adjustable arm to adjust it because I don't know where I'm going to need it. Got my cup holder in there. This is not the Yak Attack. This is some just little cheap one that I got off Amazon, but I like that on the side so I can stick my phone in there. And then, you know, my phone is so old, the battery sucks on it. I can use that USB charger to charge my phone while I'm out on the water. That's cool. Then I've got the just a little track mount, and then I've got this set there so I can put my my YouTube camera. I think I'm probably gonna, the way that I usually run these is I just have a little battery, so I'll probably set the battery just right here in this tray and then run it right there. So that's looking sharp. Got everything caulked with the marine grade. Well, it's not marine grade, but it's just silicone. It'll hold it. And then inside, I'm going to organize this a little bit better, but I've got my rain gear and all of my life jacket and everything in there. And you'll see I've got the wires kind of tucked up out of the way. I actually took some duct tape and I duct taped the wires out of the way. So I've got full use of the compartment. I like how that turned out. That's pretty sharp. Now, I just need to do a little bit of cleanup and take it out on the maiden voyage on another day, on another episode. That'll be coming next week. As always, if you'd like to know anything about what I did today, you can look down in the description box. I'm going to leave some additional information down there. But while you're there, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, the channel that is updated every week with new fishing content and new fishing adventures. So, I'll be seeing you next week on my new kayak. This is Josh, and this is Abide Fishing.